Welcome to the Ron Paul Rally 2012. This event is sponsored by the Georgia Coalition for Ron Paul. This is not sponsored or endorsed by the official Ron Paul 2012 campaign.
This is my little heavy silly song. Come on all you people, sing along. It's not so hard if you try. It's not so hard if you try. Tried to write something easy, something simple and light. Somehow that all changed, grew heavy and tight. This is my little heavy silly song. Come on all you people, sing along. It's not so hard if you try. It's not so hard if you try.
Why do I know you?
I don't know.
He's famous. Are you famous?
No, I'm not famous.
Is he famous? Who is he? Yes, on YouTube.
Okay.
I've seen you on YouTube in your car.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Verse number 2. Nothing too complicated. Just a cool heavy groove. My little heavy silly song. Come on all you people, sing along. It's not so hard if you try. It's not so hard if you try.
I'm a veteran. I've supported Ron Paul now for about 10 years, and I served in Fallujah from 2004 to 2005. I've lost a lot of people in my life, and this to me is a very important thing because
Get up in the microphone.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
Now let me just say a couple things here about war. There's a myth that goes around, I think, politically, that to be anti-war makes you unpatriotic. That is absolutely untrue. To me, anti-war would imply that you're pro-life. And the pro-lifers that in the GOP establishment want to save children here and bomb children everywhere else. Sorry. So for me, it started on 9/11, which I think a lot of us, maybe even a few people here, were regarding as the next Pearl Harbor. And if anybody knows anything about the definition of what blowback is, Pearl Harbor, 9/11, all of these things were results of things that we had done as a country, things that we had done, things that we had supported. So I joined as a patriotic American. I was 22 years old. I said, they bombed the towers, we need to go do something. We need to go kill some people. This is what my mentality was in 2001. By 2004, I was sick of being in a military that took advantage of the oath I took to protect the Constitution of the United States of America. Because as a service member, that is all that we are required to do. If there is something noble about going around the world, killing brown people, killing Muslims, killing anyone who is not part of a white Christian establishment, is not protecting the Constitution. What it is doing is spreading an empire that has existed since 1776. And that empire is something that we can, historically in context, the Roman Empire. Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon, took out Pompeii, and had an empire that lasted longer than anybody should. We've made movies about it. We've made plays about it. These guys that take over countries are heroes. These guys that take out anybody that's not them, they're heroes. People like Cicero, people like Dr. Ron Paul are looked at as fringe and crazy. But we are a country that was founded on the principle of one thing. That is individual freedom. As a service member, the only thing that I can say about personal freedom is when we have a national defense, we pay for that national defense to protect the individual rights of the citizens here, not to protect the individual rights of citizens elsewhere. That's not our job. A couple more things. I talked about what it was to be anti-war, what it means to be pro-war, which is Rick Santorum, Newt Gingrich, Mitt Romney, and Barack Obama. Pro-war, maybe not, they may not say that, but that's what they are. To be pro-war, you have to be racist. You have to accept genocide as a part of natural order, and it is not a part of natural anything. The ironic part about the entire GOP race right now is that there is technically one veteran running for office. That's Dr. Ron Paul. Nobody else running for that office has ever signed up or served their country. And you can say, well, they served in Congress or they served in the House. Being a politician is not serving your country. Right. Being a veteran is serving your country. And Dr. Ron Paul, who won't even take the pension from the Air Force, served his country and served it well. Right. I've got two more things. One thing that really disturbs me that Barack Obama said the other day, of all people who ran on a platform of anti-war and clearly did not stick to that, is that there is no such thing. There is no such thing as acceptable collateral damage. Not when one life is taken. That is never any. That is any politician that says those words. Acceptable collateral damage. One person or 5,000 people. It's monstrous and it's criminal, and it should be prosecuted like we prosecute everybody else that kills in this world. All I'll say is, like I said, I've supported Dr. Paul for 10 years now. I've supported his economic policies. I've accepted his constitutional foreign policies. And if you want your children to grow up and feel safe and comfortable that they can join the service without going off to die, the only choice that you can make is Dr. Ron Paul. Thank you.
Let's give it up for John.
Fears the people, there is liberty. Ron Paul wants to cut $1 trillion from our deficit in the first year of his presidency. Ron Paul only asked for $40,000 per year as president to balance our budget and to return our money so that we can restore our economy.
Get on the website and sign up as a volunteer. That website is GA, the number 4, ronpaul.com. Once again, GA, the number 4, ronpaul.com. Please, if you have not signed up there to be a volunteer, do so. It's important for us to stay organized and know who can.
All right. I wanted to cover a little bit of local news here as far as liberty is concerned. As everyone knows about a constitutional carry, SB 678, for students to be able to carry on campus to protect themselves. Also for you to be able to carry in church and other public places that are currently not allowed according to Georgia state law. So, you know, keep a close watch on that. You've got nonprofits like Georgia Carry that are updating us every day through emails. So if you're not aware of Georgia Carry, please check it out. Here's my button, Gun Saves Lives. So yeah, so georgiacarry.org. Another success story that I recently heard from Garland Favorito was that SB 377 was recently defeated in the committee. I mean, so it's super important to watch these guys, and politicians are so sneaky. This new requirement that SB 377 was going to cause independent candidates, they have to collect signatures in order to get on the ballot. This was going to cause a new requirement for every time they get a signature, they have to ask for ID, and making it's already almost impossible to get on the ballot as an independent. That would make it pretty much 99.9% impossible. If I can encourage everyone here, I know we're all so different, we all got different causes, we've all got different passions for on the scope of liberty. You know, get involved with your local GOP, or get involved with your local political party, whether it's Libertarian Party.
Soft feet caught up in a long walk, soft tongue caught up in a long talk, breaking out of here. Last chance every other Friday. If I go down, it's gonna be my way. Breaking out of here. Too many words, too many signs, so many people on the ground behind me. So long peaceful, so long hope. Search the world over for a way to go. Instead of slow down, automatic suicide, breaking down, choking on the fumes. Too many words, too many signs, so many people on the ground behind me. So long peaceful, so long hope. Search the world over for a way to cope.
Volunteer button and sign up there. You need to do it right away. Whip out your phone right now. Do whatever you have to do. You need to get on there and sign up right away, because we need you as part of this process here. Dr. Paul is counting on us, and we are delivering. That's the good news, is that in Georgia, we're delivering. I wanted to just say a couple of really quick things. I have been active as a supporter of Ron Paul since 1987. I headed up North Carolina Students for Ron Paul in his 88 run, and he has not changed since then. And that's one of the things that has been so fantastic, is he was consistent at that point, He was right at that point, and he has remained consistently right since that point to today. That's why we support him so strongly. But I also want to say that I went from, you know, he ran as in the Libertarian Party at that time, and I was very active in the LP then. I followed him back into the Republican Party, and I've been very active in the Republican Party since that time. And this is what I want to say, and I want to make it plain, and I want to make it clear so that everyone that is within the sound of my voice can understand this. We are the past of the Republican Party, and we are the future of the Republican Party. When we had that incredible rally 4 years ago, the rally to restore the Republic, and people were holding up those signs that said, bring the GOP back to its roots. That's why Ron Paul, running for president as a Republican, is running to bring, not only to restore America, but to bring this party back to its roots of limited government, free markets, and fiscal responsibility. Right. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Right. Now, those three things, if they sound familiar to you, it's because those are also the official motto of the Tea Party movement. Now, why in the world people aren't making the connection between the Tea Party movement, which was started by us, and the only presidential candidate left who actually stands for those principles? And so I just want to re-emphasize one more time, we are not just in this for the short term. We are in this for the long term. We're in it for all the way, not only to the convention in Tampa, but beyond, as we bring the Republican Party back to what it's supposed to be standing for in the first place. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why Ron Paul is doing what he's doing. And that's why all of us are doing what we're doing to restore America now and bring liberty back to this country. Last thing. I can't tell you how excited I am in this election. Like I said, when Paul ran for president in 1988, we had kind of a tough time. We had a tough time just getting him on the ballot. When he ran 4 years ago, it was this incredible explosion. Hundreds of thousands of people coming out for this movement. And then now, for the campaign he's running now, compared to 4 years ago, we're not only so far ahead of the game, we actually can win the nomination and defeat Barack Obama with Dr. Ron Paul in the fall. And if you keep working hard and we keep working hard, that's exactly what we're going to do. So get back to work and have fun for Dr. Paul. God bless you all.
Radio for years and years and years, and we used to have a libertarian named Neil Bortz. Anybody know him? Yeah, he's pretty much, I think he's a Newt supporter these days. But we've got a new voice of liberty on the Atlanta radio, WSB 750, and now 95.5 FM. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the coolest lady in town. She's so libertarian, she claims she scares Ron Paul. Let's give a big Atlanta welcome for Monica Perez.
I think I'm the only radio show host who actually screens in the Ron Paul supporters instead of screening them out. And it's because I am a Ron Paul supporter, and I come from a long line of Ron Paul supporters. I didn't even realize how long a line it was until my mother told me just the other day. She said, you know, like 15 years ago, I would see these Ron Paul brochures lying around the house, and I would say to your father, George, what are you giving this congressman 1,500 miles away money for? We barely have money for groceries. And he said, Irene, He's the only good one. He's the only hope. So she said, okay, we'll eat beans, send it to Ron Paul. And, but I didn't get it. I was totally oblivious. And sometime later, in 2005, I moved to Houston. And one of my sisters called me and said, Monica, you're moving to Houston. That's where Ron Paul is. And I said, who? She said, Ron Paul. He's the only libertarian congressman. He's the only one who voted against the USA Patriot Act. And I said, oh yeah, remember that guy? He's from like Minneapolis. She said, no, he's from Houston. And I had little kids. I moved a lot. I was a libertarian philosophically, but I just wasn't that engaged, and things weren't that bad. So I just said, oh, that's great, awesome, whatever. And then I moved to California. And I thought, if you're not afraid of government, move to California for a couple of years, because a couple of years down the road, that's what you're gonna get. And it was during the 2008 presidential campaign, and you would see all these Soviet-style signs for Obama in every window, and then you'd see McCain on the other side, and I was like, okay, where are those Ron Paul stickers? So I started putting the magnets on. I had like 15 Ron Paul t-shirts. Who is Ron Paul? Ron Paul 2008. And I was really, I started to get it, but I remember thinking, like, nothing is getting me going door to door, never going to a rally or a protest. I'll put the sticker on, but that's it. Well, I went, not too long after that, I came back east, and Obamacare was in the offing, and I was getting off the couch. I said, that's it. Now I know what's going to get me to go door to door, pound the pavement, and I went to Washington to protest Obamacare 3 times. And the last time I went, it was, you kind of knew it was going to happen. It was like on Easter or Palm Sunday, something just awful. But I stayed up, I knew it was a losing battle. But I stayed up the night before for like 3 or 4 hours making this awesome sign. It had like stars and stripes. I think it had a little blood dripping off the letters. And it said, tyranny today, revolution tomorrow. I was so into it, and I went and I took it and I went and I was on the lawn, and a lot of people there, all the Tea Partiers. There was just like kind of a big empty space around me. People were like, that's a little aggro. Tea Partiers are ladies and gentlemen, whatever. Well, by the end of the day, we were up towards the Congress building, and all these congressional aides were out on the balcony. They were like jeering at us and taunting us. Really, it was for sure on purpose. They were making fun of us, trying to get us to do something stupid, and people were getting mad. So all of a sudden, everybody's around me. I've got the sign, they're pushing me to the front. Read her sign, read her sign. And so the Congress windows were open, and I thought, they're in there voting. Ron Paul's in there. And so I started going, Ron Paul, Ron Paul, Ron Paul. And the guys, the Tea Party guys around me said, you're gonna lose the crowd. Cut it out. I said, lose the crowd? These people don't get it? Come on, lose the crowd. We're losing the battle. We're losing the war. I was so disheartened. I put that beautiful sign. It took me so long. I left it and I went home, really. I was so depressed. But then something started happening. And you started seeing, like, people knew who Ron Paul was. My t-shirt didn't make sense anymore. And in Iowa, he got more than 20%. In Maine, he got more than 30%. And those were just the votes they counted. So people know who Ron Paul is, but not everybody gets it yet. So, I watched that South Carolina debate where he's up there and he's saying, let's use the golden rule in our foreign policy. And these people who are well regarded as Christian conservatives start booing him. And he's not, it was crazy. And instead of being a normal politician who's like, oh, I didn't really mean that, he starts shouting over them. I beg of you, we don't need another war. They're booing this guy, this little guy up there. And he says, and they're saying to him, no. And I looked up and I had tears in my eyes, really, literally. And I said, that guy stands alone. He just stands up there, nobody's with him, and I just, it really moved me. So when Ron and James said, come to the rally, I thought, that's easy. To hang out with liberty-loving people, like-minded people who get it, that's easy. What could be better than that? I thought, well, it would be better if Ron Paul were here, and I'll tell you, if he were here, there is one thing I would say to him. Dr. Paul, you are not alone. And here we are, and I just want, keep up the good work. I'm going to do my part. Have the show 7:50 a.m. Saturdays at 10. Call, I'll put you on. Let's deliver the best Super Tuesday for Ron Paul here in Georgia. And I'm Monica Perez. Thank you. Woo!
Come on, let's give it up for Monica.